Hello there, my portfolio is now fully running. The store and the whole site is basically now running on Webflow hosting, really taking advantage of the Webflow CMS, and that will be the topic of this video. So, it's been a while, right? I was probably too optimistic about recording everything, the whole process of the portfolio, which when I started it, the homepage itself had around 12 hours of content, which, as you probably understand, cutting that would take ages. So I sort of scratched that during the process. There will be one video coming about how to create a style guide, because that one was sort of really explaining stuff, and I think it will be valuable to everyone to see it. But there won't be any videos really coming as a new course about the portfolio and about creating the site. And the main reason for that is that I was sort of not 100% sure how the whole site will be looking when I started. Once I started to show it to people, I was sort of getting feedback it's probably way too text-based and really less showing the whole sort of design side of me. Which is fine, and I'll explain that a little bit later, why the decision was made like this. But I tried to sort of play around with the structure, and at the end, that's why the whole process was way too longer. And then the other part of the whole journey started, and turns out in the last year or 2 years, basically whenever I start creating something, it usually turns into a massive task with way too many tasks that I was initially really expecting. So there was one thing which I didn't realize is that my previous portfolio was hosted on third-party services. So basically on one check hosting. And when I wanted to switch completely to Webflow hosting, I didn't realize you can't really run, let's say, the landing pages for my store, for my products, and just parts of it on Webflow hosting, let's say the home page and the about page. And since all of the pages which I have are sort of part of the website, I basically had to recreate all of the landing pages for all the projects. So yeah, that happened. Thanks to that, there is obviously one bummer, which is there are no videos about the process, because I didn't even have the capacity of my hard drive to sort of have the about page and the home page, which was really massive. And I don't think it will be really valuable to watch 10 hours of videos of me creating the portfolio. We will obviously see each other in way more courses in the future. That was the main reason why I was recreating the website, so I can build on top of it. Because with the previous one, that was my first project which I ever created in Webflow. And once I got back to sort of create the landing page for the previous course, I didn't even know how to sort of build on top of the stuff which I created previously. So that was the main reason why I wanted to create that, so I can create more stuff. There is now way more stuff which you can actually find on the website, and which will be obviously in the future hopefully valuable to people. So that's one downside, is that the videos won't be really coming in terms of like the Webflow building stuff. But on the other hand, thanks to the fact that it was that many pages to recreate, I actually dropped some of those. So that's actually a positive side for you, because now 2 of my older products are now available for free on Gumroad, and you can get them on my store. So feel free to grab those. Those are 2 iOS UI kits, Night and Travel and 90 Cities. And with this, I will eventually create a couple of videos like this, where I'll be just talking about topics like tips for Dribble. What portfolio do you need? Do you even need portfolio? And these questions which I'm receiving quite often on Instagram. So these videos will actually happen, and you can actually stay tuned to see those. So with that, let's look at the whole sketch file. Let's look at how the portfolio is built and how the live website looks like. So, and this is how the new site looks like. We have some kind of header. We have menu navigation with about, newsletter, email me, some sort of nice quick overview of who I am and what I'm doing, and then little news about what's happening. This is a place which I want to use to sort of highlight if I have some sort of new video, in this case new website for Dashboard UI Kit, which is my most recent product. And then the first part is actually about my products and courses. That's where I want to be the most active at this point. Thanks to that, this is now a main part of the website. 5 products with a link to the store. And then we have a recent works, client full-time. Again, a little bit different than the previous website, which basically follow the similar structure. I didn't want to really change the design or anything, but I wanted to sort of give it more robust structure so it's easily maintainable and I can easily create new sections and new stuff. So in this case, we have a couple of things which I created. This is the first product, which is Prospero UI kit, another UI kit. Then we have TabDAG, the Capital, Cap News, CA, and then we have 3 other sites which you can easily go to the live website, Behance project, or Webflow project. I don't have any case studies here explaining all the decisions and everything, which I feel like that's really now common use of the space. But I feel like in this case, since I'm more focused now on creating the products and projects for the community, there is no need for me to really convince people to hire me to create the case studies. Once I would like to transition to that, obviously the case studies would make a lot of sense. So that's it. And this is the little only small thing which is now sort of like the cool effect of the switch. So basically once you hit 50% of the section here, once 50% of the section is visible, it switches to dark. I'll show you how the interaction is built, probably somehow harder than it should be. I didn't really use filter to do that transition. I basically just took every element here and switch it to white. So that's it. And then we have a little bit more info. I initially had this section right after the header, so basically here. That was how it was built previously on the portfolio as well. But it really felt like, and I got some feedback as well, that it feels like there is too many copy and not really showing the pixels and everything straight away. So it can be sort of strange. If you viewing it on mobile as well, there was a lot of copy to go through first to actually get to any work and any products, which I obviously want to mainly get the attention to. So that's why it's now below all the products and below all the works. Then we have my sort of CV. I actually dropped the CV, which was previously downloadable as a PDF, and now it's going straight to LinkedIn. And then there is this new thing, which is list of important updates, where I really want to highlight what's happening. We can see that there is the YouTube video, which I released on the Webflow for beginners. Then there is the article, job board, and everything will be nicely visible through here. Obviously, if you really want to know what's happening. And then here you can see that, let's say, Dashboard UI Kit 3.0 Update 5 is coming soon. So you can expect that this will be released as the next thing. And then the last bit is obviously a contact. Let's work together, and you will be sending an email and a little menu. Awesome. So that's it. We have a couple of new pages. One is about. I'll keep this short. What was the reasoning here? I really wanted to really give more info about who I am. If someone really wants to hire me, to get them sort of sense of what I'm able to produce, but not have it on the homepage, to not have there so many pieces of copy. So this one is actually separately just purely based on copy and text about the no code and about Webflow and why I'm creating this and that. I even sort of did here 4 value points to sort of lay down the foundation of what exactly am I capable of and what work. I'm actually looking for a little testimonial here from Andrew Wilkinson, and then full sort of overview of my articles, recent interviews, then speeches, and then a little piece about what I'm actually working on right now. This is part of the 2020 mission. And then again, footer with the contact button. And then we have another new page, which is a newsletter. I'll be releasing only if there is some major video, let's say the guide to Webflow, let's say the video about Dribble, which I'm planning on right now, and let's say Dashboard UI Kit updates, Webflow freebies, basically any freebies which you can get and which you can get value as a designer or developer from. And that's that. And the last bit, which is obviously the largest bit, is the store. So we have here latest releases, which is basically the same collection in Webflow as on the homepage. And then thanks to that, I'm kind of growing the store, and I really want to sort of distinguish those products because I was running into issues where people think Dashboard UI Kit 3.0 is actually for Webflow and this stuff. So now it's fully separated design and dev tools. These are the three main products which I'm having. Then we have Webflow resources. Hopefully, Cards 3.0 will come at some point. And then we have YouTube resources, where currently we have only one course, but hopefully in the future we will have way more and way more freebies. And then this is what I was talking in the initial part. Now you can get, instead of 2 freebies, you can get 3, and these are actually quite robust. The whole 90 cities iOS UI Kit, 9 and Travel, and these 2. Awesome. So that was the reasoning behind all of this. Now let's look at the sketch file. So here we can see that how it's made. There is plenty of things to discuss and sort of take a look at. I'll try to make this short. So we have here 12-column grid, 1100 pixels to give the page a nice structure. I'm usually going with only 2 columns, as you can see here, and then we have 3 columns for the main structure. This is in my design, I guess, the most common practice. I'm usually trying to follow the 12-column grid. Thanks to that, I guess you have pretty much decent flexibility with any kind of content which will come your way. I'm sort of using always the same height for the images, so they are easily switchable. This is basically following the same structure, and that's kind of the whole thing. You can see here how I was sort of playing around, having this one as a black one right after the header, etc., etc. So this was that. Then I have here a little bit exploration of how the mobile navigation can look like. I'm always following the logic that the main products item is visible. I'll show you that in a code. Here is something what I was creating for the video of the style guide. So basically, to create the style guide, I basically collect all of the different types of text, different types of buttons in one canvas, and then recreate it in Webflow, so I have the same structure available to me on every single subpage as well. That's how I start every project. And then we have obviously the about page. Here you can see again the 12-column grid is very flexible here as well. I'm using actually only 8 columns here for the main content, but once I go here, for example, for the value, the left column is actually used, which will be obviously very challenging without those columns, and that's that. So this is the about page, and then the news, and then a store, which I think I basically created on my own without the design here in Sketch. Here are some icons which I was using for the headers of each of those sections, and then we have a lot of the stuff which is in background, which nobody can really see, that is necessary to create, and those are all these SEO optimization tags, OG images for each of those pages. So once you share it, it actually looks okay for the one who is sharing it. So if somebody wants to share Dashboard UI Kit, for example, separately, it won't be showing only the image of my portfolio or anything like that. So that's that. We have a couple of images here for the homepage. Then obviously similar structure for each of those websites to make it look decent and really nice, organized. That was the main reason for that. And I guess that's it. This is sort of previews for the store. And I think I'm running out of ideas what to share here more. I don't think there is anything particular. Here are some exploration which I was doing for the about page, where I basically started with this and then having the values like this and the lists. But it was getting pretty busy. Again, really heavily text based. That's why I decided to go with something more narrow, sort of like a noodle to follow, with less sort of clutter on sides or something, to have the page really easily scannable. And I hopefully achieved that. Let's say. So yeah, I guess that's it from the design part. Let's look at how it's built. So let's look at how it's built. I'm following basically every time a similar structure. You will see this in most of my projects. I'm using section and the wrap. Wrap is set to a max width. Section is usually following some padding. Hopefully in the future I'll learn how to use percentage or M or these sort of alternative or more flexible units than pixels, but for now sticking to the pixels everywhere. So I'm using 36 pixels. That's for the fact that once you making the size smaller, it's keeping the 36 pixels from the side, and it's never right next to the border of the browser. So that's that. I'm using basically everywhere a grid. So for example, here we have a grid on home. We have a navigation on top. Picture is filled for 2 of those rows, and then we have content here. Similar, once we're going down for the works, we have again 2 columns. Then we have 3 columns. And basically all the way down, same logic, same structure. Home featured works is using actually fixed pixels to again leave the spacing once you're going down. The image is not shrinking, because once it's shrinking, this will be obviously way bigger. But it's going only to 992, so it's still looking good. That's one of the things which I feel like always wanted to try and will always wanted to have, is that once you open the website, it looks good on all of those breakpoints and all of those basically viewports, whatever browser size and browser width you're using. It might be a designer thing, but I feel like you want to give the user the best experience and not have a broken website once it's open, I don't know, on smaller browser. So we're going down. We have 3 columns here, again 2 columns, and basically all the way down, following the same logic to keep the structure really robust and not having to deal with multiple different things. Then once we're going smaller to the iPad, to the tablet breakpoint, we have the notification here. I'm dropping the picture. I don't think it's necessary to have a full width picture on mobile or anything. You want to give the user the information first. I don't think someone is really browsing through the stuff. Then we have all the collections here, and you can see that we actually added one more work on the tablet breakpoint, and that's because once going smaller, the width of those images was way bigger. So I'm actually using for the wrap fixed width of 640 here to have it again as a sort of like a noodle and not the full width, because these images would get blurry, obviously, since they are only 640, I think, or maybe 680, not sure, to have it nicely like this. But the reason for adding the third one is that this one was initially 3 items. Remember, it was 3 items. But if we would go down here, the third item would have a really weird empty space next to it. So the solution was either to have a fourth one or have one more as the featured one. So this is how it works. We can actually see that we have one embed here displaying none for the last child, and then for the first child of the previous row we have a display none. So this is how it builds. So basically, on smaller breakpoint, I'm adding one more to have it nicely without the empty space. Same logic goes for here. Instead of 3, we have 2, and then this is how it looks on mobile and tablet. And then this is the menu thing, which I was saying. On mobile, obviously I'm going with a burger, trying to keep it on tablet without the burger. So burger is starting from a mobile, and this is what I was showing you in the sketch file, which was here, to sort of keep my products always visible. And this is how it works. And then we have some kind of nice, more robust menu on mobile. Instead of just having those 4 items, we have all the way Let's Connect, social networks, and then recent resources, which is actually a dynamic collection, which is following the same logic as the bottom section on the page, which is here, which looks like this, but now only in the menu, which I think is pretty cool. I set up the CMS to create 3 collections. One of them is recent events, which is the longer section with all of the stuff. It's following super easy logic, name, type, release date to sort of sort it out, and link, and then if it's coming soon or if it's featured in navigation. This is a really nice way how to mix Czech language and English, but obviously nobody else will see this anyway. Then we have products, which I'm using on store. This one is way bigger one. I'll show you that in a second. What's happening here, because obviously I need a Gumroad link or the affiliate link, text on button, text for the buy button as well, description, label, compatibility. We have different images if it's used on homepage and if it's used on the portfolio as well. You can see that here, for example, with Dashboard UI 3.0, this one is actually used on portfolio. And then if it would go down to the smaller image with the 3 columns, it would have to have the smaller image. That's actually visible here. So basically, if one of them is featured and then goes to the third point, currently it's on a second. If it will go on a third, it will get the non-featured image. So thanks to that, I don't really have to be worried if I will add one more thing, the stuff will get somehow broken, because it follows the same logic. And then the last bit is the image updates, which is the thing which is here, and then on the store. So currently running only 3 of them to basically have the updates bar visible and nicely filled. But hopefully in the future, adding more of those to have this really showing that there are updates happening on the website. One more thing which I forgot was to show the interaction. So basically here, div block is covering basically the whole footer and the section with all the informations and the CV. and the interaction is based on the div block and on the position once scrolled into view. It's offset to 50%. So when you are 50% seeing the div block, it starts the animation background change. And the only thing which I'm doing here is basically having initial state for the body to white and then to the black, and then basically changing each of those elements, which you can see here, to the white color. The same goes once you're going back, background change back is going back to the white. And I feel like that somehow makes sense. Obviously it was somehow fun to figure this out. Interactions are still a bit of a challenge for me. And that's about that. So let's look at the About page. Here we have the 12-column grid. Previously, we used pretty much only 2 columns and 3 columns, even though it's sort of following the same logic as in the sketch file. Here we have fully 12-column and 8-column, obviously having it to the fixed width of 720, which is obviously counted without the 4 columns on the side. But for example, here we have those 12 columns. This section is pretty much nuts, because I then have to on tablet align those very differently, so all of them are sort of following some sort of manual position on desktop. You can see here that these are pretty much positioned within the grid to actually be fitted properly. Then we have when I'm not at my desk, and then articles again following the 8-column grid and then positioned within the grid. I think I'm mumbling a lot about the grid, but that's basically how I like to work with. I feel like it's the easiest way instead of having some sort of pixel-wise positioning with the flexbox. This feels like the easiest way to manage this stuff. Awesome. So next page, newsletter. This one is super easy. Again, following similar logic as the About page. Fixed width to 720. Image on top. This one doesn't even use grid anymore. And then I feel like the most proud page which I ever created, even though it's again nothing super serious. We have the latest updates here, which is using the collection image updates with limited 3 to nicely show the latest releases. And then I'll show you here how this is built. So we have 4 categories, as I show you. We have design tools, Webflow resources, YouTube resources, and all the products, and free or all the products. There's one thing in the CMS where I can basically highlight some of the products. So let's say Dashboard UI Kit is currently the latest one. I have it featured in store on one row currently. That way it's displayed within the collection, which is using the featured condition on. So that way I have 3 collections always on top the part of the category, and that way whenever I create something which is super interesting, I can put it as a featured one. So let's say Cards 3.0 will always be featured one here. Let's say the next course will be featured, but it's prepared for it. Whenever I basically toggle the featured on, it will be displayed here. I hope that makes sense. Basically, the whole side of the home page of the store is actually built with using only 2 types of collections. One is work homes grid, and then the normal featured works from the store. And that way I feel like it's the super easiest way how to build something, and I can easily, without having it on static as it was previously built, add those products to the store, which is I guess, what I was aiming for. Here I'm using more robust footer, which is used again as well on some of those subpages to nicely link as well to those products and resources. So whenever you are on page, let's say nested symbols, you can actually navigate to Dashboard UI Kit 3.0 as well, and etc. So this is it. I rebuilt all those pages as well, so these are sort of following the same logic of 1,100 pixels width, and most of them were updated to the newer structure, which was sort of the challenge which I was facing, that it was taking too long to create. We have a couple of text pages, and we are almost done. We have the invoicing, we have the become an affiliate text page, again using the footer from the store, so you can easily navigate to wherever you want to go. And then the last thing which I found, which I didn't record, is the 404 page, which I feel like it's sort of like a nice way and sort of like a hidden gem or whatever of your website, where I feel like you can still sort of have the user to go to places. For example, if you have some sort of e-commerce website, it's nice to show them at least some places where they can go, or even show them, let's say, the latest collection or anything like that. The one thing which is obviously challenging here is that on 404 you can't use dynamic collections. So here I'm basically just pointing to a static links, which are basically following my recent resources. Since I'm releasing one resource per year, or maybe 2 resources per year, this doesn't really have to be updated. If you're using some sort of e-commerce, or if you're doing an e-commerce website, obviously be sure that you're sticking to some links which would make sense, so you don't have to update it all the time. But I feel like if you're using some sort of redirects, in my case, I had to do a couple of redirects from the previous website, which was hosted on the third-party service. This is nice way to do it. So whenever someone lands on your website from some link which is dead on the internet or something, it will still be sort of guided to places and basically have access to the most important links which you want to take him. So that's my 404. I don't think there is anything else to show. The next step will be obviously the Dashboard UI Kit 3.0, which was built brand new. Do not have to recreate the older page, but to give it more a robust, I'm really using the word robust here all the time, to give it more proper standalone website, which I can sneak peek right now, which looks like something like this, but more on that later. That will be a next video. Awesome. I hope it wasn't too long. I really wanted to show you somehow everything what I was building. Everything else will come. I hope we will have more of the resources to work together on. Have a couple of freebies as well in the future, which I'm looking forward to really. Currently, the main target for me is to create another update for Dashboard UI Kit, which I was promising for a long time, and then hopefully way more stuff for Webflow and for design overall, creating some template UIs and giving more freebies for the community. And that was it. I hope you liked it. Let me know in comments what do you think about this video. Obviously, feel free to message me on Twitter if you have any questions or if you found any bugs. And in the next video, I'll be talking about the new page which I had to build for Dashboard UI Kit 3.0, which I think is pretty fantastic, and I can't wait to show you how it's built. Cool. Thank you so much. Bye bye.